I've been avoiding doing this for a very long time and I've never done it, but I think it's finally time that we actually gave it a shot. So what I'm talking about is a 2-tower chimp run, but this is gonna be unlike, well, anything that I've ever done before, and I've been actually avoiding doing this because of, well, how complicated it might get. So in every run on chimps mode, there is a total of about 2,040 something thousand pops. And so what I want to do today and what I've been avoiding doing is I want to attempt to have over 1 million pops on both of the towers that we're gonna place, and that is a little bit tricky. So that means that throughout this entire game we need to balance out the amount of pops that our towers have, and then hopefully by the use of abilities or just microing or just somehow, you know, just doing some calculations and moving towers around or whatever it's gonna be, at the end of round 100 both of the towers that we buy are going to need to have over 1 million pops, which is, well, kind of a difficult thing to do. Well, actually you can probably get this on accident if you just do like a 2-tower chimp run and then you place your towers, and you might, I don't know, you might be like, oh wait a minute, both of these guys have like over 1 million pops. So you can definitely get this on accident, but we're not trying to get it on accident, we're trying to plan around it. Okay, the towers that we're going to be using are going to be the Wizard Lloyd Phoenix and the Apache Prime. Now I chose these two towers for a specific reason. Number one is that this combo is super easy to pull off, so we're not going to be having any micro or damage or whatever is type of problem. But number two is that we actually have a lot of control over what we can do with these two towers. So for example, look at the heli. I am moving the heli around. That means that, well, if we move it out of the way, then it's not going to be taking away pops from the wizard. And it's kind of similar with the Wizard Lloyd Phoenix ability, because you know that once you use the ability, that thing is just going to rack up a lot of pops. But if you don't use the ability, then, well, maybe you can, you know, kind of plan around the pops or something like that. In an ideal world, both of these guys are going to have like 1,020,000 pops, and 20,000 pops in the late game is like nothing. It's like, what, a couple of ZMGs, I think, or something like that. And actually, just taking a look at the pop count now, it's 5.5k onto the heli and then 2.3 on the wizard. And this is a Dragon's Breath wizard, so I'm actually going to move the heli away so this guy catches up a little bit. So let's just have the heli like here on the side. And how many pops is this on this round? I know it's like early, but I think that we want to start balancing these guys out like from the early rounds. Now the plan eventually is to go for the Summon Phoenix and then we go for the Dart Chip. And obviously the Dart Chip is going to pull ahead of the Summon Phoenix. But then when we buy the Wizard Lord Phoenix, that guy is going to pull ahead of the Dart Chip. So what we need to do is we need to create a huge difference in pops with the Dart Chip as it relates to the Summon Phoenix Wizard, and then we're gonna have the Wizard Lord Phoenix start making up the pops, if that makes sense. Okay, and just let's do a quick pop count check. So this is 5.9k onto the heli and then 5.5 on the wizard. So these guys are kind of close, 400 pops off. And this mob is, who do we want to have pop this mob? Let's move the heli away. So 6.1, 5.9, and this wizard should, yeah, it kind of made up a lot of those pops. Okay, so you know what? Let me actually get the heli on pursuit a little bit. So let's just get a little bit more pops onto the heli now, because once we buy the Summon Phoenix, then, well, obviously the wizard is going to be a little bit stronger. And it's also cool the fact that when we get the Summon Phoenix, we are just going to have an ability, right? So if like this heli pulls out a lot ahead in the pops, we can just use the ability and get some pops back. So that's nice. Yeah, so look at ceramics, for example. So heli 11k pops and then the wizard 8.6, but the heli cannot pop ceramics. So this wizard is actually going to catch up to those 11k pops with this guy. So 9. Oh my god, these pops just jumped right through. Okay, so heli's still at about 11k. He's going to hold off these pink balloons because they're just cow pinks and it does well versus them. So around 49 and 13,000 pops, 13.7 actually on the heli and 10.6 on the wizard. So I want to balance these guys out. So I'm going to take the heli and I'm going to move it away and I'm just going to watch the wizard pop. So when this guy reaches about 13,000 pops, I'm going to move the heli in. And this is actually so fast with all these ceramics. Oh my god, look at these pops go. Yeah, we need to get the heli in as soon as possible. Let me set it to pursuit. Let me check the pops. Yeah, 13.2 and then the heli is at like 13.9, almost 14k. Yeah, that's perfect. All right, so far so good. Round 53, 18 and a half, and then we can round this up to 20k pops onto the wizard, but it's gonna jump up a little bit. But actually we're gonna have the money for the Apache Dart Chip, and once we buy this guy, you know what, I'm gonna buy it and I'm just gonna leave it on pursuit a little bit. Okay, so let me move the heli around, and actually this is a little bit of an issue. So you guys see that the heli main attack, or I should say the darts, are not attacking, but these rockets are still getting launched. That is not good. So yeah, it's still gonna be taking away pops even if you move it away. And let me just do a pop count check. So 21 with 31. Okay, so 10k pops ahead onto this heli. I don't mind it, but I'm just gonna move it like this so that the wizard gets a little bit of pops. And actually, maybe we want to use an ability. So let's actually use the ability in this one. Let's just catch up with these mobs a little bit. And this is gonna bring us to what is looking like 25. How much is the heli? Heli is at 32, so it's not actually racking that many pops. But this wizard is making up for the difference. So it used to be 10k and now it's about 6k. And I think that we get it down a little bit, and then I'm gonna move the heli back to pursuit, I think. All right, so 33,000 versus 29,000. I think we can move the heli back to pursuit, and we are probably going to use the ability for the BFB in round 60, I think, just to get a little bit of pops onto the wizard as well, get over 30k as well. Yeah, so let's go like this. So this thing is, how many pops is this thing going to get the wizard from this BFB? It's like easily closer to 2k pops. Yeah, that's very good. Okay, so the heli has been jumping a little bit ahead in pops, so 45 on the heli with 33 on the wizard. I'm actually going to move it like this. So a problem on this round is the fact that these purples, they turn off the wall of fire, so it's the wizard is actually not doing anything. So I'm trying to have the heli like this just so it pops the purples, but it also allows the wizard to deal with these mobs. Wait, is the wizard even dealing with these guys is the question. So 45 ceramics coming out of these ones. Let's make sure we pop the 45 mobs, and then I'm gonna move it back, so just like this. And then once this guy pops, move it back and then do a pop count check before round 63. So 48 with 37-ish. Yeah, the gap is about the same. Let's just leave round 63, I guess, to the wizard. And this is wave number 2 of 63, and you know what, I'm actually going to use the Phoenix ability, and hopefully it lasts for the third wave as well, and then we're going to do a pop count check. So that's the third wave of ceramics, and I'm going to keep the heli actually like this towards the front, so the wizard deals with all the ceramics. And let's do a pop count check now. So 54 versus 46. Okay, so we did make up a little bit of the difference, about 2k pops. All right, you guys know what, I'm actually going to balance both of these guys out at 60k, and I'm going to leave the heli on pursuit. So 57, and this guy's at 62, so they should balance out after these BFBs. Yeah, there we go, 61 with 63. Yeah, these guys are about even. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna have the heli on pursuit, and this is the time at which we actually need to let the heli get like ahead of the wizard, because when we buy the wizard or Phoenix, it's gonna be a lot stronger than the dart ship, and when these more difficult rounds roll in, well, the dart ship is just straight up not even gonna be able to pop them in the first place. So yeah, I'm gonna leave the heli on pursuit for a little while, and I think that's gonna be up to free play, like around 81, I think. And actually, before we get to free play, I want to show you guys how big of a difference the dart ship has onto the wizard. So what do you guys think? How many pops does the wizard have at this point? This guy's at like 150k. The wizard is at 70, so this guy is almost doubling it, and I want this to continue. And actually, you know what, I think that we're gonna have to use the ability actually on 76, because the dart ship, if I remember correctly, this thing leaks 76 like it's nothing. So let me use the ability. Let's steal a little bit of these pops from the heli, and I think that we are doing well. Believe it or not, this is all according to plan so far. So round 81 is here, and guys, we are probably gonna have to buy the wizard Lord Phoenix, because the dart ship is just not defending this thing by itself. So look at the pop count difference, 260k versus 100,000. So there is a 160,000 pop difference between the two of these towers, but once you buy the wizard Lord Phoenix, it is actually gonna make up for it and then some, and it's gonna go ahead even, I'm pretty sure, but hopefully not by too much, so we can control it. So let's buy the wizard Lord Phoenix now, and let's just get this thing started. Alright, so the longer that this difference between these two guys gets held, then it's gonna be better for us. And I feel like one of the things that we could do is we can keep the dart ship attacking these big balloons, because once they start chasing these small balloons, these small ceramics, they don't award that many pops, so we could just keep it, you know, attacking these BFBs. I think we're getting the most out of it like that, but the difference is still nice. It's 276 versus 136. It's about 140,000 pops. So in just one round, this thing made up for like 20,000 of the missing pops, which is just insane when you think about it. Round 83, 290 versus 166. The difference is shrinking with each pass round, and I don't know, guys. This is getting a little bit funky. The further we go with this thing, especially when you have like a huge wave of mobs, just like we had. Oh, that's just so many pops. And just like that, 100k difference of pops has been made up for. So 300,000 on the dart ship, and then 205. It's about 100k pops of the difference, and it just made up like, was that like 60k pops in 4 rounds? That's crazy, and it's gonna keep getting a lot faster because the RB on these rounds just keeps increasing, right? Actually, something I've noticed is that these beefy balloons, the beefier they are, it's better for us, or actually I should say for the dart ship, because beefy balloons are slow balloons, and so that kind of delays the time which it takes them to reach the wizard Lord Phoenix, and in turn it's not getting as many of the pops. So look at this thing, the difference, did it widen? No, it didn't widen, but it's kind of the same-ish, I would say. So 240 with 320, yeah, so it's about an 80k difference right now. And round 88 down to about 50k, so 350 onto the heli, and 300, oh my god, it's even less than, it's like 45k pops of a difference. Okay, so let's do the micro thingy with the dart ship, where I want to keep the dart ship onto these bigger balloons, because I feel like this is how we're getting the most out of it. So if it's chasing ceramics, it's just not getting enough pops. I don't think that by doing this we're gonna widen the gap, but I think at least we're just gonna slow it down a little bit, because we are a lot of rounds off of buying the Apache Prime. And then even if you buy the Apache Prime, like, that thing is still gonna leak balloons no matter what you do. Let's do a popcorn check. 384 versus 39. Oh my god, it actually pulled through. It's 10k pops ahead with this Wizard Lord Phoenix. No, I don't like that. Okay, so we can get actually a decent amount of pops with the dart ship by just keeping it like this over the BFB. So let's just not have it chase ceramics and these small balloons. Let's just make sure we do as much damage as possible, and then it is what it is. So round 94 is when we're gonna have the money for this thing. Okay, so round 92, this actually looks like a difficult round because we're leaking a bunch of small 45. We're not leaking them, but they're kind of actually making it through the other side, it seems like. And we are, oh no, we're actually leaking them. All right. Okay, so something that we can do for this round, I guess, is that we can use the Wizard Lord Phoenix. I want to use it as early as possible so that it at least takes care of the small 45 mobs and it doesn't take away pops from the ZOMGs. And I'm actually gonna micro the dart ship over the ZOMGs, I guess, because that's how you do the most amount of pops. And wait a minute, this ability didn't take care of all of these ZOMG leftovers, so just have the heli like this, help it out a little bit, and then move it back. How are we doing with the pops? So 413 onto the heli, and then oh my god, 500,000 onto the Wizard Lord Phoenix. Come on, guys, this Apache Prime is gonna need to do work when we buy it. Thankfully, it's only one round off, so once we deal with 93, which is gonna be just one button, we are gonna have the money. So let's use the ability as soon as possible actually on this one, and hopefully it doesn't carry over to 94, because 94 has a lot of pops on it. And look at the money, 47k. This thing is 48.6. All right, so after these mobs and their leftovers pop, we should have the money. I'm spamming the button, guys. I need to get this thing as fast as possible, and there we go, we buy it. Okay, so Apache Prime now, like, this thing is gonna need to do the most amount of work that you've ever seen. Actually, we can help it out a little bit by microing it, but let's just keep it on first. So as long as these ceramics are not fortified, the Apache Prime can kind of deal with them, so I don't mind having it on pursuit for a little while. Actually, isn't making up for the pops though, because 95 is not a good round for us. Okay, so 543,000 versus 664. That's actually, it's kind of making up for it, I think. 120k of a difference. I think it is. Alright, so now this is a DDT round, so that means that we have to use the Wizard Lord Phoenix ability on this one. So as soon as the DDTs appear, I'm actually going to use the ability straight up because I want to use it as early as possible so that it doesn't take a lot of pops from 96. So let's just do it like this. This is going to be an easy round just because, well, you use the ability, but at the same time, the Wizard Lord Phoenix is going to take a lot of the pops as well. So after this round is done, let's do a pop count check just really quickly. So the difference used to be 120k, and now it's what, 570 versus, oh my god, it's actually widened after 95. All right, so this Apache Prime, come on, dude, I'm gonna need you to start attacking those balloons. You know what, the Apache Prime is actually doing a little bit better than the Wizard Lord Phoenix because it starts attacking the balloons a little bit earlier. So I'm not sure which tower is stronger than these two. I would say probably the Wizard Lord Phoenix, especially with the ability, but just because the Apache Prime is a global one and all these ZOMGs left from 96, and let's do a pop count check. So 700,000 versus 770. Okay, so 70k pops is the difference. This is really good. Okay, so the Apache Prime is actually making up for it. So after these ZOMGs have been dealt with, let's just check it, and we're gonna have two fortified ZOMGs, which the Wizard Lord Phoenix cannot actually attack that much. It's actually only the passive summon Phoenix, but this guy doesn't exactly take that many pops. So let's do a pop count check. So 700, and it's gonna be about 750-ish versus 790. All right, so we're gonna be entering round 98 with how many pops is this gonna be? I don't know, guys. We actually need to turn off all the start, and we need to think before entering round 98 because this is getting super close. Okay, so let's do a pop count check. 791 versus 806. This is ridiculously close. Only 15k pops difference. Okay, guys, we might still be on for this thing. This is so close. So round 98 has 320 something thousand pops of RB on it. So if we divide these pops equally, then that means it's gonna be about 160k pops each. But we need to account for two things. Number one is that the heli is 15,000 pops behind the wizard, and number two is that on round 99 we're gonna have to defeat that entire round with the Wizard Lord Phoenix ability because it's 45 DDTs, right? So the heli actually needs to pull ahead onto this round. Okay, so the number that we're looking at for the Apache Prime is about 960,000 in that vicinity. It doesn't have to be 960 on the dot, but it's like 950, 60, 70,000 pops. I think that's the sweet spot after we're done with round 98. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna keep this tab open and I'm just gonna watch the Apache Prime's pops. I'm keeping it at the back because I do want to do as many pops as possible, but at the same time I'm watching the front leak because the Wizard Lord Phoenix is not dealing with these guys. Okay, so let's help out the Wizard Lord Phoenix in the front a little bit. 900k pops, so only 60,000 pops left for the Apache Prime from this round. 960k pops, and I'm super happy with this thing. Okay, so 940, 945, 950k pops. We need to move the Apache Prime away like in a second, I think. Oh my god, it's leaking at the back. I don't think this is working out. 960. Okay, I'm fine with 970 as well. Oh, are we fine with 980 though? I am not sure. Take away so many pops from the wizard. 980. I don't like this. How many is the wizard? 9. 20 the wizard. Oh, we need to restart this one maybe. What if we use the Wizard Lord Phoenix ability just to get a little bit more pops on the wizard, because we did seem to have a little bit of trouble dealing with these guys. So the Apache Prime is racking just a ridiculous amount of pops on round 98, which is a little bit surprising to me. I thought that it wasn't gonna go this well. So let's see if we can play it differently like this. I did use the Wizard Lord Phoenix ability and it is gonna come back for 99, which is really important. And now the pops are a little bit better than last time, but not that many pops left on the field either. So maybe using the Wizard Lord Phoenix ability is not even like a good idea in general. 940k pops. I actually don't like this. So this is too little, I think, for the heli. So I think we're gonna restart it again actually. Okay, so what I'm gonna do different this time is I'm just gonna straight up use the Wizard Lord Phoenix ability before this round has come out in its entirety, so that it cannot do as much damage as possible. Oh, that's a huge wave actually of small balloons. Do we need to move it back? Hopefully not. I hope that the Wizard Lord Phoenix defends by itself, but this is getting a little bit messy on the right side. So let's go like this. So 960,000 pops is the number that I'm comfortable with, because entire round 99 is going to be dealt with the Wizard Lord Phoenix ability. So 930 so far. Let me just check what's at the back. A bunch of 45 BOBs. Okay, so I think that this is probably one of the best runs that we've had so far. I retried this a couple of times, by the way. 950, 955. I am super fine with this. You know what? I think we're going to take this. 960k and the wizard is at 960 as well. Oh my god, this is crazy. These guys are neck and neck. 964 versus 959. Okay, 5,000 pops away. Okay, so this round, Wizard Lord Phoenix ability is going to take care of all the deities. Let's just watch the pops onto these guys. So I think this guy's going to cross a million pops onto this round, isn't it? Yeah, it's super close. 995, but that's completely fine. Okay, so only this guy left, and I am going to need the Apache Prime to just go past 1 million pops, because we know for a fact that the wizard is going to go past a million. So now it's just the Apache Prime. This is the most important part. 989, 990, 10,000 pops remaining, and if we get these 10,000 pops, it's done. This guy's over a million. Okay, so it's only the Apache Prime left. The bat's gonna pop any second. There we go. 997, and we actually do get it. Yes, over a million pops onto both of these towers in 2 tower chimps, and I think we can freely use the ability now, because we did it, guys. That was ridiculous, and it's actually so close. Look at the numbers. 1,015,000 versus 1,023. We did it. 2 tower chimps with both towers over a million pops. It got done, guys. It got done. Yeah, but that's gonna be it for this one. Thank you guys so much for watching the video, and I'm gonna see you on the next one.